Welcome back to the show, everybody. Now it's time to take a look at a game I'm very excited for, Dishonored 2. Harvey here is creative director on the game. Welcome to the show.
Hey man, thanks for having me.
You guys had your big gameplay reveal at the Bethesda Showcase a couple nights ago.
Yes, at long last. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been waiting and waiting and waiting to show the actual
Yeah.
game. Last year at E3, we showed the announced trailer, revealing Emily Caldwin, the new protagonist, for the first time. And everybody's been asking, when can we see gameplay? When can we see gameplay?
Yeah.
So Sunday night at the showcase, and all this is online now, but you can see everything we showed is in-engine, and it's the new technology.
Yeah. So right at the beginning of the game, you got a choice to make, right? Who you're going to play as.
Yeah, about 5 minutes in, you play Emily just at the start,
Okay.
and then there's like an inciting incident where you choose between Corvo or Emily.
So what's the difference? I know they have very different powers. So
Yeah.
It's going to be like totally different playthroughs depending on who you choose to play as?
No, we didn't do 2 sets of missions or anything.
Right,
crazy
but
like that.
the experience is going to be different,
Yeah,
right?
the experience is different. You get a real feel for Emily or Corvo as a person. They have their own emotional reactions, their own VO. That's a big change because
Right.
last time Corvo was a silent protagonist. So we fully voice them. They not only make comments during conversations or on little objects that you can inspect in the game, but just once in a while they react to something. And so you choose one or the other at the beginning of the game. You play the entire game as either Emily Caldwin or Corvo Atano. Otherwise, as you said, their powers are fully different.
Right.
All Corvo's powers from the first game are back, but they're upgradable in new ways. Emily has entirely new powers. They also have different assassination animations, so their fighting styles are different, and their weapon tuning is a little different. They generally have the same weapons, the classic Dishonored weapons, crossbow, spring razor, pistol, but the tuning is very different between the different weapons.
What would you say is the main differences between the Corvo style and the Emily style?
You know, we tried not to bottle it up like that, where like he's really brutal and
Right.
she's really sneaky. It's just that he's a little taller. She uses her legs a little more. She
Okay.
leg whips. It's really interesting to contrast the two. Play for a while as one, then play for a while as Corvo.
Yeah. Now some time has passed in between the two games, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been 15 years since the Rat Plague. So in our weird alt-Victorian world, we think during the first game it's roughly 1837. For those of you who are deeply into nerdy history, that's the year in London that Spring Hill Jack was allegedly sighted, this demonic-like figure jumping from building to building. And so we sort of sync Corvo to that time period, 1837. So 15 years later, after the Rat Plague has been cured, there's a coup, and Emily Caldwin loses the throne. She's on the run. She has to go down to the southern edge of her empire, to the city of Karnaca, the jewel of the south. And that's where most of the story takes place.
So for players who played the first game, how has Corvo changed over this time?
He's older.
Sure.
So we really love Corvo as a character, and a lot of people, you know, we focused a lot on Emily during this campaign, like preparing people for the game. And, you know, Emily's cool because she's grown up. She was the little girl in the first game that you protected, that you sort of mentored, and her personality changed based on how violently you played or not. So people are really excited about Emily with the new powers and seeing her grown up. However, a lot of people are very nostalgic for
Sure.
Corvo. They want to see what has 15 years done to him. So we play him to be this guy that's like going home for the first time. Serkonos in our fiction is where he's from. It's kind of loosely modeled on Spain or Italy, touches of Greece. So Corvo's going home.
I see.
And also he's aging, and he's asking these questions like, how long can I protect my daughter?
Yeah. Now tell us about this third option that you have to play the game with no power.
Yeah. Yeah, we just talked about that yesterday morning. It's brand new information. Before coming to E3, we weren't even sure we were going to talk about it. In the game, there's a moment where the outsider marks you. He takes your hand and offers you supernatural powers, and that begins your path to being able to upgrade all of these crazy otherworldly abilities. But this time we decided to let the players say no. So when the outsider offers you his mark, you can say, I've had enough of your gifts, no. And you play the entire game in a kind of a mode we call Flesh and Steel, where you don't have Blink, you don't have Far Reach, you don't have Devouring Swarm or Possession or any of Emily's new powers, Domino or Shadow Walk. You don't have any of that stuff. And so it's really, really different. It
Right.
contextualizes the game. I have to warn you, it's a lot harder.
Yeah, that's what I imagine, yeah.
But in addition to that, we've unlocked a ton of options this time because we got a lot of feedback from stealth players last time. This time, you can dictate when you lean out from behind cover how visible you are or not.
Okay.
We've tweaked a lot of options, and we just turned those over to the players. So you can really tailor the experience. You can play on normal mode. You can play without powers. You can play Emily or Corvo very violently, or you can literally not engage in violence at all. You can avoid all killing in the game. So.
How do you play?
You know, I go back and forth, but I like the powers, actually.
Yeah, the powers
I
are
have played
fun.
no powers,
Yeah.
and it's different. It becomes a completely different game. But really, I like possession. I like some of Emily's new powers. People are already figuring out how to combine them in ways we didn't expect.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the game where it's a firing squad where some religious zealots are executing some heretics, and a player on the fly, our lead designer, Dinga Bakaba, on the fly, he had the idea to use Domino to link the guy in the firing squad with the victim. Whenever two people are linked with Domino, they share the same fate. So he linked the two, and as the Overseer executed the heretic, it killed both of them. The bullet killed both of them. And so people are already strategizing about how to combine them.
Sure, yeah.
So I mix and match.
Yeah. And what about how does the new setting differ from Dunwall?
Yeah, you know, our art team and design teams worked really hard to make Dunwall feel like a real place in the first game. It's a bit Edinburgh, it's a bit London, it's got the pointed roofs, gray, brick, you know, and so when you get on a boat called the Dreadful Whale and you go south to Karnaca, which is the capital of Serkonos in our empire, there's more vegetation, it's warmer. It's still north of the equator in our world, but it's a lot warmer. The food is spicier, whereas in Dunwall you might sit down and eat Pratchett jellied eels, you know.
Yeah.
In Karnaca, you're more likely to have rum and cigars and
It's more my speed, I think.
dates and you know, things like that.
Yeah.
So.
We were having a mild debate in the IGN office the other day. Is Dishonored sci-fi?
That is a good question. I guess you could argue both ways because we have this like 1800s technology that the wall of light and the arc pylon. But from my viewpoint, there's a subgenre of steampunk fiction called gaslight or gas lamp, one of the two.
Yeah.
And it means like without so much of the technology but more magic, or with the steampunk technology but plus magic. Unless I'm totally wrong, in which case I'm super embarrassed. But and I'm not a real gamer.
Oh yeah.
But,
well, that's true anyway. According.
But anyway, I think it's kind of a subgenre of steampunk, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know, when the first Dishonored came out, I think it surprised a lot of people. I'm a big fan of it. What do you think, in your opinion, what was it that really resonated with players? Because it was a new IP, a new franchise. It had a very distinct look and feel to it. But what do you think resonated?
Yeah, my friend Rafael Colantonio and I were the co-creative directors of Dishonored 1, and I think it comes down to the values of our studio and our team. We really want the player to be able to explore at his own pace or her own pace, and we want them to be able to improvise and find creative ways to solve problems. This is not a linear scripted path.
Yeah. That is exactly what I like to do in video games, and that's why I'm so excited for Dishonored 2. So, Harvey, thanks so much for coming by the show. Yeah, have a great E3.
You too.
Stay tuned. We have many more games to show you here at IGN Live from E3 after this.